All right, welcome back to Boring Reviews. Nick here.
Jody there.
And me and my raspy voice are here with the Jody lady person. And we are reacting to QI.
Quite interesting.
And we are checking out what is the toughest way to become
a mummy. Now the question is it like...
Key.
Is it like an Egyptian mummy? Or is
I'm
it
assuming.
mummy like a mommy?
No. So we're going to go and check this out because I've always been curious at how to become a mummy. And I want to know...
Like a mummy? Like with a belly?
No, Egyptian. But I don't want to go through a hard, arduous task. I want it to be easy. So I'm curious for research purposes to figure out what the toughest way is so I can do the exact opposite. If you like our reaction anyway, please don't forget to...
like this video. Have some pity on us. Subscribe to our channel.
Gosh.
It really, really does help us.
Using
Thank
pity?
you. And hit that notification bell so you can be aware when our next uploaded video comes in. We enjoy being with you guys on your morning breakfast, your tea.
More
Sorry, did you
likely,
wanna talk?
it's going to be the same time every day. Besides your Monday morning, because I usually don't post videos Sunday night. But sometimes I do, the music ones. I like how the little gargoyle person's head is picking his nose. Here we go.
Oh my gosh.
What's the toughest way, though, to become a mummy?
Well,
Carrying a mummy.
I'll take it. Here's Jimmy. Reverse cowgirl.
Now, they understand that. You're going to have to explain it to them. What is the reverse cowgirl?
I'm going to need a volunteer from the audience.
If you're having sex with me...
Yeah.
Or Mel.
Yeah.
Say you're having sex with Mel, and you're lying down on your back, and Mel is... I can't use her name in that stuff. She's sitting on top of you, but looking away. Reverse cowgirl.
Oh.
I find they're much happier without looking away from me.
That, however,
especially if they can see out the window. It's like a budgie.
She could be reading a book or watching telly. She could do what she likes.
She can see the telly or outdoors. She don't mind.
Have a snack.
Wonderful.
Yeah. It's catch-up time for women,
So
basically.
she's doing Sudoku or whatever?
Yes, whatever you need to do. You just...
Yes, you're thinking of making babies, aren't you? That sort of mummy, I realise now as well. Yeah. Can you turn yourself into a mummy? That's the point.
Probably.
Yeah, you could, couldn't you?
Probably wrap yourself up in...
Mummify
Well,
yourself.
haven't you got to take your liver out through your nose? That's what they used to do, isn't it? They used to take the organs out through the mouth and nose.
Well, the brain they would take out through the nose. They'd agitate it with hooks so that it turned into a liquid mush and then...
Oh!
Yeah, I know.
Worse than being buried alive?
and then after that, they would kill them.
Yeah, wow. But the Soku Shinbutsu were members of an obscure Buddhist sect who, in Japan, used to practice the rather macabre idea of self-mummification. This is what they'd do. It's quite complicated. It's really interesting. See if you'd do this. For 1,000 days, right, a priest would eat nuts and seeds while taking part in vigorous physical activity so that he had no body fat. He'd then only eat bark and roots for another 1,000 days and then drink a poisonous tea made from the sap of the urushi tree that caused him to vomit and lose bodily fluids. And then he would lock himself into a tiny stone tomb with an air tube and a bell. And he'd sit in the lotus position, and every day he'd ring his bell to show that he was alive. And when the bell stopped, the tube was removed and the tomb was sealed. And then other monks in the temple waited for another 1,000 days and then opened the tomb. And if the monk had succeeded in preserving his body in his death, he would be considered to have achieved the state of a truly enlightened Buddha.
Who made up that game?
Buddhists.
You know, have you...
It's a terrible photo of him. If I was going to get all that trouble, I'd have a decent photo taken of me.
I like this because, I mean, a lot of people get away with thinking that Buddha is like the sane religion. Buddhists are normal and decent, but even Buddhism has weirdery beyond belief, really, I'm afraid. Yeah.
They don't do it like that anymore, obviously, do they?
No, it's now an illegal form of suicide.
They have a webcam now, don't they?
As a form of suicide, though, I think that should be promoted because, you know, if you jump off something high and land, it's all over very quickly. You've not been able to think it through. With that, you can sort of change your mind. You go, do you know what? I fancy a drink. After about 900 days, you go, oh, pizza wouldn't go amiss.
If you open it after 1,000 days and he hasn't turned into a mummy, would you say, that's it, I told you he had a Twix?
Anyway, yes, members of an obscure Buddhist sect in Japan went through an extremely rigorous process of self-mummification till the practice was stopped in the 19th century.
That
My
is
gosh.
like such a long time. 1,000 days.
Yeah. 3.5, no, almost 3 years.
To just eat nuts and then the bark or whatever was afterwards.
Bark and roots.
Oh my gosh. And then to work out excessively, like you would probably be so not only malnourished but exhausted. No.
See, I have just one simple question though. Why? Like, why is self-mummification like the highest?
Yes, for
Is it like,
in their
is it an
belief system.
embarrassment thing that your body rots out and it gets smelly and nasty? Is it the utmost like sophistication that when I die, my body will still be preserved so I don't smell?
Well, I wonder too if it's a part of being self-control. Like you would have to have so
That
much
part I get.
self-control.
Like I wouldn't want to do, but I understand someone that wants to be able to be the master of their own body.
I would think it would be something like that because that's 2,000 days.
But why the mummification? Because you're eventually going to end up in death. How's that self-control?
But again, like, because I don't understand or know the religion well enough to speak on it. But if your ultimate
Well, and this
goal,
is just a very obscure sect of it
yes,
as well.
Exactly. And so it sounds like, again, that's like their highest degree in their belief system, maybe. So if you can have the self-control to go 2,000 days of just, I mean, that cannot be easy. I mean, your body has got to be screaming at you constantly. And then to sit in a lotus position, like your body naturally, you move. You need to get that blood flowing, you know, help like your body like move around. Could you imagine like if you just sat in that lotus position for days, because you don't die right away, your body would go numb. Your limbs would go numb and hurt and like not to move or anything. Have that very little air, like to sleep in that position. Like that, I think it's just that self-restraint of being able to fully control all of your desires and what's the word I'm trying to think of? Like impulses, but not quite that.
That's
but
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I give props to the people who are able to go through that. That sounds awful to me.
I don't. Not the death part. The self-discipline, absolutely. I think it's always good to work on self-control. Whether it's what you eat, what you watch, what you listen to, who you hang out with, what you say, how you say it, all that kind of stuff. I think just complete indulgence in all things is just never good. The times in my life where I've completely indulged in whatever it is, like just eating like crazy or not watching what I eat or hobbies that I like and maybe spend too much money on, whatever it is, at the end of the day, you don't ever get that pure satisfaction that you would get from self-control. And there's been times in my life where I have had self-control over different things, and you feel empowered, like, yes, I am not controlled by anything. Like nothing, I'm not a slave to anything, any of these vices or appetites or whatnot. But I still just wonder, like, why the mummy part? Like, I don't, it's a Halloween costume, for crying out loud, you know? I don't know. I just feel bad for those people that, and it's their choice, but chose to have that be the end of their life. But yes, 1,000 days of nuts and seeds, and then 1,000 days of bark and roots. That takes extreme self-control. And I would not be surprised if after like 30 days of eating that, the cravings really wouldn't be there so much.
You're right.
Because your body's now used to I think you would get sick of just that same thing. But now you have control of, I don't live my life based on what I'm craving, because this is all that I'm going to eat. I'm going to worry about other things. But again, I think you'd want to get to that higher plane, and then just to end your life, you have no control of the afterlife that we know of.
But who knows what they believe in for their
I get
afterlife. But yes, I get what I
get. No one in the world is saying, yeah, let's do that too. But they convince a lot of people, or the religion or that specific sect convince. And I am so dumbfounded by it. It's crazy.
I have no self-control, no self-discipline when it comes to eating. I woke up this morning, I was like, I'm craving something sweet. So I went and bought donuts. Like,
yeah,
I am the worst at that. But I do appreciate and am inspired with that self-discipline, and it makes me want to be better, because I am terrible.
What would happen if, like, you just ring that bell, must be once, like at the same time each day? What would happen if whoever's like in earshot of it's like, oh man, I gotta go to the bathroom right now. And so they go and they drop their deuce and they don't hear the bell ring. And they just pull the... No. I guess they just keep ringing the bell like crazy. Give me that tube back. Which is a funny thought. If you like our reaction anyway, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time.
Goodbye.